Garwood, running down the resolutions. Number 881, that's authorizing $350,000 for the Code Blue for the full year of 2021. My question is, why are we going to the end of 2021? This expenditure really should be only to the end of this winter period in March. Then, as proper procedure, the 2021 budget cycle should address the 2021 winter cycle. It sounds like we're actually now covering the summer season also. Director Anderson didn't mention that. But anyway, I think you should table that and modify so it just is the winter months in 2021. Resolution 896, 897, and 899. These three amended resolutions are addressing the cost of election materials, and it's backdated to February of 2020 and for 24 months out to early 2022, adding nearly $400,000 to full-service mailers, $1.1 million to B&B Press, and $1 million to Royal Printing. These three resos are open-ended and add $2.5 million, which makes the three contracts now total up to $5.3 million, and in essence, doubling to tripling their original contracts. To me, this is sheer lunacy on the part of the county clerk and the Division of Elections. Question, why is this backdated to February of 2020? What more expenditures are being uncovered for this year? Just 2020 alone before this ad, the clerk actually spent $5.5 million on elections. We have no idea what the elections will be like in 2021. These three should be polled and voted no, breaking out the portion of 2020 from the 2021 and 2022 to be voted on separately. Or it should be investigated by the state authorities for some kind of improper procedures. Resolution 905 and 906 are two resolutions giving $225,000 to a third party called Union County Economic Development Corporation in Cranford for training and assistance to private businesses. In looking at the 990 forms that they submit, we see that Amy Wagner and Edward Oatman, the county manager and deputy county manager, are working for this corporation. Do they get any compensation for it? And here's something from the 990 that sounds unethical since they get grants and public tax monies. This little-known under-the-radar corporation paid its president $400,000 in 2019. I can see now why we're probably being overcharged for the $225,000. This organization should be investigated by state authorities for tax money abuse. Reso 916, this is a laughable one for sure. It's paying $44,000 to USA Architects to provide design and construction admin services for painting of certain areas of the Performing Arts Center. Come on, really? $44,000 for picking out colors and then watching paint dry. This is a complete taxpayer ripoff. Just have the painter select the colors, and then somebody in the county DPW maybe stops by and watches them. If there's any intelligent life here, you would certainly vote no on this waste. This fiasco is brought to you by Freeholder Mayor Bella, as he puts it forth. Resolution 917 is giving the old politically connected buddy firm, Dakota Fitzpatrick, another $22,000, a total over $100,000 for legal counsel for what is called redevelopment projects. Question, what are these plural redevelopment projects? And just what is he doing for them all? Point of information, Dakotas has donated over $75,000 to the freeholders and the cronies in the last 4 years. So this sounds like some kind of unethical pay-to-play payback. I'd like the questions answered. Number 19, that's giving CARES Act money to the law firm Florio Perucci in the amount of $100,000 for a total contract of $250,000 for coronavirus special legal services. Note, this is the same firm that is defending our young, inexperienced prosecutor, Lindsay Rotolo, in a lawsuit. This is another total waste of money. I ask you to vote no on the abuse and have our county council do this work and save the $250,000. Resolution 925. Finally, we have a good resolution wishing retiring freeholder Angel Estrada farewell and his induction in the County Hall of Fame. He deserves it. He was passionate about his position, didn't really put forth such wasted, lunatic resolutions like other freeholders, which will remain unnamed. So congratulations to him. In closing, I'd like to actually thank County Manager Oatman for a guiding hand in servicing the needs of the county residents through this ongoing pandemic. And I wish you all here in the county happy holidays and see you next year. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Paterson, we'll start getting after some of your questions. I want to ask Director Anderson if she can speak on 881.
Through you, Chair. This 350,000 is for the winter months of 2021. And for Code Blue, and it does not cover summer months. It is for the winter months of 2021. And it's a state statute, by the way. 32 degrees is a mandatory Code Blue to call by any county in New Jersey.
Okay, thank you very much, Director. Joanne, are you available to speak on some of the questions that came up, 897, 98, and 99?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, through you. Those three resolutions are not backdated to February 1st. They are, in fact, 2-year contracts for our election vendors. And it is correct, we have put more money in them. We are amending those contracts for 2022 because, quite honestly, we envision that by June, when we have the primary, that we will not be in a position to have an all machine vote election, that it will either be a hybrid or again will be a primarily vote by mail election. We're putting the money in now in the event that the chain of suppliers, when we have to order things, we will not have to wait to come to the Freeholder Board to get authorization for funds. So we're doing this because there are hundreds and hundreds of jurisdictions in the United States, election jurisdictions, that deal with 5 or 10 of the same election vendors. So it's the first one in that gets the product. And we want to be ready for any event that occurs in 2022.
Joanne, thank you for being proactive as you always are, and make sure we're in a position to get what we need. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Good, and we'll move on to the Deputy County Manager. If Amy, you could speak to 905 and 906, please.
Yes, through you, Chairman, I'd be happy to respond. Mr. Paterson's remarks, quite candidly, are completely misguided on all fronts. The UC-EDC, as they are known, are a highly regarded not-for-profit organization that serves the business community throughout the state. The county manager has always had a seat on their board of trustees, which govern the organization. I have been appointed by the county manager as his representative because of my experience with economic development, which is the service that they provide to Union County businesses. They provide a myriad of services, from loan products to training, procurement opportunities that have totaled in excess of $100 million for small business in Union County. And we receive absolutely no compensation whatsoever for our position on the board. We serve in our professional capacity with the county to make sure that the business owners in Union County are well represented and that their needs are served in their best interest.
Okay. Deputy County Manager, thank you for that clarification. 916, Director Graziano, can you comment on that, please?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chairman. The only, as you know, I mean, anything in that building, since that is it's part of the New Jersey Register of Historical Places, so you have to go through the SHPO board in Trenton. And anytime you're doing any type of work in that building, and it's not just a little bit of painting like Mr. Paterson suggests. There's a lot of spalling in that building. There's stuff on the ceiling. The whole building has to get scaffolded. So we have to submit plans and everything to the state before they can even approve any kind of work that gets done there. So this is just the beginning of the process. So to say that we can have somebody, a DPW person, standing around watching paint dry is pretty absurd. We go through a process that's required by the state.
Very good. Thank you, Director. I think that was it. There might have been something. Bruce, do you care to comment on any of the other items that came up? Bruce Bergen.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there are questions about two of the attorneys. One is Dakota's. They have been giving us advice on the county redevelopment project right here in Elizabeth. This is actually their final bill. They've moved on, and I think it was last week, but it might have been a few meetings ago, we retained other counsel to take over that work. But this is just to clear up their bills through now. The other one, which I've spoken about on a number of occasions, these are expert outside counsel with experience dealing with the federal government, having to do with grants. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars of grant money, and they are helping us be sure that we're complying with all of the federal rules, so that in fact we get to keep the money that we've been granted for COVID-19 relief, which of course this Freeholder board has given to businesses and to tenants and to nonprofits and schools and all across the county. And we want to make sure that that money was given out properly. And they've done a very good job keeping us on the right track. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
County Council Bergen, thank you very much. We'll move on, Jimmy, to the next caller.